for a check of your Fox 47 forecast.
Fox 47 meteorologist Brian Bachman back with you on this Tuesday evening. A quiet night set to unfold, at least for the next few hours here in our neighborhoods, before some wintry weather eventually gives way to another severe weather potential going into the day on Wednesday. Now, most importantly of all, this is what you need to be prepared for going into Wednesday. Damaging winds, large hail, heavy rain likely to be the most widespread issues we face from this next round of severe storms, and a slightly greater risk for a few tornadoes than even what we saw back on Sunday evening. But all of that said, while I want you to make sure you are prepared for this, there are a couple of make or break factors involved in this latest event that could ultimately tamp things down if things don't quite sync up the right way. So as far as the ingredients that we have in place for tomorrow's severe weather event, we're going to have strong winds, that is, in the mid levels of the atmosphere. That's just a lot of energy aloft that could easily translate down to the surface in the form of those damaging winds. High wind shear is expected to be setting up shop across a wide swath of our neighborhoods. That could give those storms more of an ability to rotate more easily. Potential is there for some afternoon heating, especially with a warm front and a strong area of low pressure headed our way, and that heating could eventually recharge the atmosphere after some morning rounds of storms. Now, that said, a couple of limiting factors that could, again, if things play out the right way, tamp things down, is that morning round of rain and storms that we expect tomorrow could take some of the available energy out of the atmosphere early in the day. If you follow that up with clouds that don't really break up much in the afternoon, that could allow prevent the atmosphere from re-energizing and thus make the atmosphere a little less conducive for severe weather. So it's ultimately going to come down to timing. Do all of these ingredients come together with the right timing? The expectation is that they will, but there's the potential that things could work to interfere with things and ultimately tamp this down. So we'll keep you posted, but be prepared for severe weather all the same. It all hinges on this cluster of low pressure systems we have moving off of the Rockies. These are going to organize into a single area of low pressure and then track our way tomorrow. And that's where all this potentially severe weather will eventually come from. So timing things out here for tonight. Rest of this evening, at least through sunset, looks dry, just with increasingly cloudy skies. Get to about 11 p.m. midnight, with cold temperatures still in place on the far leading edge of this system, some spotty snow showers are expected to break out. Those will continue in hit or miss fashion into the early morning hours around 5 a.m. tomorrow, with a brief changeover to a mix of rain, snow, and sleet in some cases. Then temps will climb enough above freezing tomorrow morning that by about 9 a.m. we get a larger swath of heavy rain and some elevated thunderstorms coming on through. While these could produce some brief small hail in some locations as they come through, just because we will have a shallow layer of cold air aloft, these are not expected to produce severe weather, and these are the storms that could tamp down the available energy available for the severe storms later in the day. We start to break things up around lunchtime, some hit or miss lighter showers, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder possible through about 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. Then as we get toward 9 o'clock, it does look like, again, things are leaning toward the atmosphere re-energizing enough for strong to severe storms to start making their way into our western neighborhoods from Grand Rapids around 9 p.m., overspreading much of our area between 11 p.m. and midnight, then getting out of the picture as we go into early Thursday morning. And that's where that severe weather potential will be at its greatest. So at the very least, again, be prepared for that severe weather potential going into the latter half of tomorrow. Snow showers, though, and then a wintry mix late for tonight. 32 the expected low temp. We'll eventually find our way into the low 60s tomorrow afternoon and evening with those showers and storms, then cool back into the 50s with spotty showers returning by the end of the week.